Sunday. Side by side at the microphone, from the green light to the speed trap, Chris Switzer and Ray Garino calls them as they sees them, and you better believe them. Here! Relevant news, biased opinions, and outright bullshit regarding every aspect of automotive culture. Gas, mechanical trickery never before revealed over FCC-regulated airwaves. Thrill to the explosive tension as Chris and Ray cuss each other down the track and barrel roll across the finish line, laughing at certain disaster as they shake hands with the devil. All that and much more this Sunday at high noon on the Motormouth Radio Hour. Call in and speak live with the Wizards of Speed and live feed, Chris Switzer and Ray Garino. Bring the whole family. Kids under 12 get in free. Every Sunday at noon on WHPC. Take the Long Island Expressway to the Meadowbrook Parkway and look for the sign saying no parking on the expressway and no express service on the parkway. Go right on Highway 24 to Garden City. $2 all-day parking includes pit pass. Sunday!
Yeah, my man.
All right, let me tell you a story. Ready?
Oh,
All right. You've tuned into Motormouth Radio, Long Island's only automotive talk show, with your hosts Ray Guarino and Chris Switzer, here to swing the automotive advice your way on this great Father's Day. Chris, what do you got to say about that?
oh, I'm swinging today on this Father's Day.
Guys,
It's a swing fest.
yeah, don't go showing off. I know you got all the time. All right.
That's me. Sweet swinging and everything on this fine, upstanding Sunday.
Yes. I know it's a big car show day. A lot of guys are out at the various shows around here because they're celebrating Father's Day their way. You know, I mean, you remember years ago when I did the car show that I was involved with, the tagline was, "It's Father's Day, celebrate Father his day, his way," and it was with,
Right.
"I'm going to a car show," so
Mhm.
we did. So
Yeah. Give a reason to get the old crate out of the garage, dust it off, and drag it down to a Father's Day show to show it off, to have a bunch of old cranks just staring at your old cranky car. What a great day.
And I will say this, though, these days, the stuff is, I mean, you've been to cruise nights and shows. The
Sure.
stuff out there is better than ever, I think.
It's, what's funny, it's colorful. That's the way I like to describe it. It's more colorful, because we're talking about vehicles that at one time started out in a kind of, I wouldn't say a drab color, but kind of like those muted greens and muted blues and those dark reds. And now they're like bright orange, bright yellow, Sonic white, Saturn crimson, or whatever the heck. It's these bright, huge, colorful, almost carnival-like colors on these vehicles. So when you walk in, it's like, oh, I need a pair of sunglasses. Meanwhile, it's at night.
Yeah.
Because of these beaming vehicles. So yeah, at least that's what I've been experiencing lately. A lot of vibrance instead of, and I'm not that guy. Like, if I'm putting a car together, I want to do the stock color, do it the stock way. And it's almost like it will blend in with the rest of those carnivalesque sort of vehicles. So that's my spin on the whole thing. But yeah, they're great. They're all great. They're shiny. They're chromy. They have all the models set up on rotating displays on tops of air cleaners when they got the hood open. They have mirrors everywhere, that sort of thing. So that's where it's at. That's
right.
That's what I'm digging half the time. But yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I'm still a fan of the driver. I always have been, always will be.
Yes.
I talked about it a number of times this week. This week, Wednesday, Kilowatt Kevin and I went over to Pirate Paul's house. We got to spend some time with him.
Ooh.
He was working on his GTX. He's probably out there right now. Hi, Paul. Doing some great work. I want to see him work faster, though. I want to see him work a little faster, not be so damn meticulous, because I want to see that car on the road. And
well, he's been working on it for how long?
Notwithstanding some setbacks. Yeah. And
yes.
You know what? I was talking about this with...
You got to admire his determination. Yes.
And I was talking with some other guys. The guy who has the Mustang at the shop, who's in for restoration, I was talking to him about it yesterday.
Right.
And I know where Paul is at. I know where his head is at because mine was there too. When you have a car all apart, you really want to tend to every nook and cranny and corner that the factory never did. Um, Basically, you want to make sure this
Yeah.
car outlasts you and your children and your grandchildren.
And yeah, that's a theory that I have an issue with as well. But go ahead, I
I know.
get it.
So you do that because you can't ignore it. Now,
Right.
Paul is doing a very meticulous, top shelf job of it.
Oh, I'm sure he
Basically, the
is.
stuff we're all looking at now, we're never going to see again because once the
Right.
carpeting is on, it's gone. But he'll know it, and that's what makes him feel good.
Right.
So that's where that is at, and I get it 100% because there's plenty of guys that I know through the years and still do. Good is good enough. It's like, yeah, it's good enough. The carpet will cover it. I even said that when I had to cut that huge.
I was going to say you just took the words out of my mouth, but I'm treading lightly on this subject. But go ahead.
Listen, we celebrate our achievements and our failures and everything in between on this show. I have nothing to hide. When I had to cut that huge hole in my perfect floor for the 5-speed transmission, it killed me to do it.
Yeah, I know you were hurting
But
yourself.
I had to do it, and then I had to patch it. And I was trying to find a professional to patch it because they have the roller, they can contour it perfectly. I couldn't find anybody who would do the job.
Really?
So I had to do it myself. I had to use multiple pieces of metal, form them by hand, weld them together, and it fit. And then I was sitting there one day looking at it saying, yeah, this isn't what I want. And I said, but you know what? Once the carpet is on and the console's on top of it, no one's ever going to know. And I'm not even going to see it. And you know what? I don't even think about it. And it's not that it was even a bad job. It's just not the way I wanted it. If I got it the way I wanted it, I'd probably still be waiting.
Right. You just literally made my point.
Yeah.
It's almost to the point where you have to decide whether good enough will get it on the road or the way you want it, it'll still be in the garage in pieces with pool toys on top of it. So it's that fine line that you have to walk. And I'm the complete opposite. You know that. I mean, I got the Chrysler out of a dusty, dirty garage. I literally just shook that thing out, hung a set of brakes on it, made sure they were reliable and worked, just made sure everything checked out. Yeah, the ball joints, the rubber boot on the ball joint split a little bit, but you know what? It still works.
And now you put it back in a dusty, dirty garage.
It has grease on, right? And I went and put it right back in a dusty garage,
Right.
But it runs and drives. But can I make the car concourse? Sure, but I'd have to tear it completely apart, and it would be years before. And you know what? We're not kids.
No. You know what? I talked about this on the Thursday Night Plane in Traffic show, where it's the same idea. Where, I don't have a problem like with my own car letting that floor go out that way. Or like your car, maybe, okay, I'll get to the ball joint later. I mean, like I said, Paul's doing it all from scratch, so it's all going to be new. And maybe when I did my car, all that stuff was new. Right. But what I do take offense and great offense to, and I have a great problem with, is when guys will just throw like the ones I've worked on at the shop. That's the example I used then. I'll use it again, where guys will take the pictures of the car and make it look great. Meanwhile, the brakes are a freaking nightmare. They're like a danger, a hazard, and they're putting somebody in this car and sending them down the road. That's where I have a problem.
I'm with you 100% on that.
Yeah,
no,
I'll never
I'm
do
with
that.
you 100%. Yeah,
and I would drive a rat rod, but my rat rod is going to have good brakes and and a good engine. It's but that's just that's where I draw my line. Everybody draws it in a different place.
There are people, and I've come to realize automotively, there are people you can put in like two categories, and that's one and the other. The one category is those individuals that make sure the car looks beautiful, but underneath it's a complete disaster. Or the guys that the car it doesn't look that great, but you could take it from here across country with no problems at all. And I come to realize I'm somewhere in the middle of that, but I kind of lean towards I don't care how the car looks compared to the way the car performs. Right. I would much rather drive a rattle trap that I know I can trust than have a garage queen that I can't even get down the driveway. Yeah. So that's the way I look at it. And my cars reflect it, certainly do. I mean, the Chrysler runs, drives, and stops, no problem. No problem. But it looks
But
it's a steady 20-footer, you
but
know.
that's what I tell people. The car kind of dictates that many times. The
Mhm.
car will dictate that because yeah, you could, like you said, you could make your car a concourse car, but what
Sure.
at what cost
What
and at
cost?
what level of time?
Right.
And that's why, like myself, I know when I was building my car and I looked at it and everything was brand new and perfect. Now I look at Paul's car and everything is brand new and perfect. And I even said to him the other night, I said, it's only gonna be a little while, like a couple of years. Now I open the hood on my car and I can see there's some dirt in there and some grease because I'm driving it. So
Right.
I don't go in there and clean the chassis with a rag every time I know I don't. I just drive it. So even the nicest restorations, unless you're really, really methodical about cleaning them, they're going to get dirty because they're being used. That's the side of the line I'm on. You know,
And you've even admitted it. You've even said sometimes you didn't want to take the GTO out because it looked too good. You were
well,
almost afraid of it. You had
yeah,
to overcome that.
true. But but going back to when the car was in the body shop and I got a call saying, "Listen, we're putting in the trunk floor braces today." So they go from under the it's a it's the brace for the floor that goes to the chassis, but it's a structural component to help the floor have rigidity.
Sure.
And the question was, you know, how do you want them finished off? Do you want the welds finished off perfectly, or do you want And I said no, the car is not going to have mirrors put under it when I park it.
Right.
So the welds can be the welds. The underside's going to get a light undercoat, like a bed liner undercoat. So it's going to cover most of that. And what you see inside the trunk, I'll put a mat down. That's fine. We're not
Done.
going to that level. You know,
Right.
that's not what I'm about. So everybody has to find that level for themselves and then be happy with it. That's the thing. People
Hmm.
sometimes aren't happy with it, but um, th- it's a big part of this hobby and a big part of why a lot of cars never get done. I
Right.
just want to see more cars get done. I can't
Yeah.
wait to go for a ride in Paul's GTX and watch his wife eat a straw hat. Even though I like Rose a lot, I don't want to see her get agita. But
But
I'll
my
smile when
fear
she takes the bite.
my fear is that he makes it too good and then it never leaves the garage because of
Yeah,
that's my fear. And that's why I drive what I drive because it's like I could still, you know, prop my butt on the fender of it and
yeah,
and,
yeah.
and it's not a problem. I mean, I love that an individual that we respect in the car business, Jay Leno, feels the same way about a lot of his cars. Now, mind you, not all of them. Some of them are irreplaceable.
Hmm.
But when he has $1 million gull wing Mercedes that he can go, you know, prop his butt up on the fender and sit on it because it's not restored.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's happy about that. He's happy that he can get in that car and drive that car. He gets the joy and the exhilaration of driving such a classic vehicle, but it's not outwardly perfect. Inwardly, it is,
Hmm.
but outwardly, the red racing red paint is still on it. It's all scratched up. The number is still affixed to the hood and the doors. It's still got flying paint off most of the sides of the car. I mean, it's a ratty looking Mercedes Gullwing nonetheless, but it's a ratty looking version of it.
Yeah.
And to me, I'm so impressed by that someone can actually do that. Take that car. Now, mind you, he's got more money than he knows what to do with, but
Right.
he can take that car and do that with that car. And I always love that. I would love to do that. I always said when I was young, I always wanted a ratty Corvette.
Hmm.
I always wanted a Corvette that was just like you can use it as a pickup truck. And I actually got it when I got that 84. That 84 fit my criteria of a Corvette perfectly. Wasn't the greatest example of one, but it was a ratty Corvette nonetheless. And I loved it because you could lean on it. Who cares? It didn't matter. Brush the paint off your pants and you move going on your way. But it ran fine. I got it to run fine. I got it to handle fine. It started, ran, it never let me down. And then I
I
eventually
got
sold
another
it.
one for you.
What?
Another '84 Corvette. I know there's one sitting there.
No,
In the shop. I got
no,
good
no,
price too.
no, no,
So listen, let me leave car
no.
now. Let me leave
Wait,
car.
let me think about it a second. No.
So let me come up now to the current age and tell you a quick story.
Okay.
My wife's car, the Cruise, I told you probably about a month ago through a check engine light, P0420 code, pre-cat, pre-cat
Did you
efficiency.
you haven't sold it by now, have you?
No, no. So did use the followed Joe D's dictum and did some some mechanic in a can diagnostics
How did that go?
because When I scoped it, the
Yeah.
O2 sensors are both alive. The cat was alive, but it was throwing the code. So it was on the precipice. So through the cataclean in it.
The cat was on the precipice, not the oxygen sensors, right?
Well, it's the sensors are reporting what's going into and out
Right.
of cat.
Right. They're working.
Right.
Mhm.
But
Okay.
now the sensors could be a little out of range as they're older
Yeah.
too. So
Right.
I bought a new forward sensor and did not change it yet. I wanted to see if I could get the code cleared.
Hmm.
And the cataclean in the car after about 3 weeks or so of driving, being put the light out. I already reported that prior to that.
Yes.
But last week, I get
Okay.
back in the car on a Monday and bing, the light's on again. I'm like,
Ah.
son of a seahorse. So I went to get some cataclean again, couldn't find it. Couldn't find, there's guaranteed to pass, couldn't find that. But I did find Rislone, which is their version. It's a fuel treatment, and it says all the same things on the box that the other ones say. It'll put out the check engine light, get you, your emissions thing, and all the whole bit. So followed the directions, got the car down to a quarter tank, poured the bottle in. I think it was a day and a half later. I got in the car, boom, no check engine light. Now it cleared fast. So I said, good.
Wow.
Maybe that's that. Maybe I'm seeing the culmination of the cat being cleaned, even better now. So I meant to scope it again to see what the sensors are doing, and I didn't get around to it, but I will. And I may throw that other sensor in, that other O2 sensor in, if I think that the reading is a little on the ragged edge. But I just wanted to report that this stuff does work. People always ask us, does this stuff work? There are cases where it's not going to work. If your cat is like really clogged, like
Right.
you told us, if his cat is really clogged because of oil consumption or whatever, then forget about it.
But now my question to you is, how did the cat get clogged in the first place?
Just the car's got 70,000 miles. Not that it was clogged. It's just
Or how did it get dirty?
I guess through they say depending on the gas you burn in the car, because
Yeah.
the gas burn creates the hydrocarbons and whatever's going to go out the exhaust.
I mean, I could understand anyone that does not treat their cars well having a problem like this. You, on the other hand, I find it interesting. I can't say hard to believe, but I will say interesting that an individual that pays so much mind to maintenance of their vehicles would find themselves dealing with a problem like this.
Yeah, but I don't regularly take out and bathe my catalytic converter. I don't brush it out. You don't do anything to that end of your car. When do you ever maintain your exhaust system besides if there's a leak?
Oh, my good man.
Right, unless there's a leak. So the internals, so it's really what's
I,
coming through the
I
engine.
do have a story, but go ahead. Yes.
It's really what's coming through the engine. And maybe if a little bit of oil gets past that turbo in this car, it'll cumulatively, it's going to build up. It's going to build up in that cat. And the same thing with the fuel. Now, I'm a budget fuel buying guy.
We all are.
I don't believe in paying, top dollar for gas just because, and I don't believe in using the top grade just because they say, no, I don't. And they say that can also contribute to it because you don't get all of the, the great cleaning things.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you. I'll put regular in when need be, and I'm a price shopper when it comes down to gasoline. So
Let's shop right now on the phones and say, hi, Corley, you're on Automotive Mouths.
Gentlemen, happy Father's Day, and to all the dads on the phone and the single moms playing dad too.
Thank you, John, very much. Happy Father's Day to you as well, my brother.
hiya, John. How you doing?
I got a question for you. Catalytic converters, they seem to be a crapshoot. Does that have anything to do with short trips versus long? Because obviously they work better when they're hot.
Yeah, but I'll tell you this, they do heat up.
So does Ray.
Yeah, they do. But and I've been getting that way lately. Sometimes they do heat up pretty fast, John. They do. I mean, now if your short trip is less than a mile, yeah. Now you have unburned moisture that actually, that's yes.
Right.
So if they're really, really, really short trips, yes.
Okay, yeah.
Other than that, and if those little really, really short trips are balanced by a little highway driving and 50 mile an hour on sunrise, you'd have to really do like Granny that just went local to the dollar store and church. That'd be a problem. She needs a '63 Chevy.
Yeah, absolutely.
with a straight six.
Right.
Well, you'll appreciate this. Earlier in the week, my wife says to me, "Yeah, all the lights are on the dashboard in my Escape."
Nice.
That's always good news.
Oh, great! I get in it, and the traction controls on, the all-wheel drive lights on, the little triangle with the exclamation point in it is on.
Oh boy.
Now,
Not the triangle with the exclamation point. Oh
tables and
boy.
yada yada yada. So I called my buddy up, who's a retired mechanic. He's got a $2,000 scanner, and take it over, and he plugs the scanner, and he goes, "It's the right rear wheel sensor." I go, "It's in limp mode. Everything is like disabled because of a wheel sensor." I go, "If the wheel was locked up, I could see." Okay.
Right.
Well, Ford now I think is following the same dictum as Toyota. This happened
Yep.
to my daughter a number of years ago. She calls. It was on a Sunday before the show. It was in the winter, and she called and she's, "Dad, I can't believe it. I was in a park lot. I went to a store. I came out. Everything is lit on the dash. The whole." And Joe was here with me. I said, "Joe, what do you think?" He says, "Yeah, it's probably just a little bit of ice on a wheel sensor." I swear to God. And I said to her, let me look at it later on after the fact. And that's what it was. And Joe explained to me, he says, "We've learned in the trade not to get too scared. But Toyota's dictum is light the whole dash up. Maybe that'll get him in for service."
Christmas in June.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And he was right. I fixed that, thawed the thing out, cleaned it. Boom, problem went away. So Ford may be doing the same thing. They know that people see one light, like they don't even pay attention. Like, what is that? I don't know what that means.
Right.
And they let it ride. But when you light the thing up, now you get someone's attention.
Yeah. Oh my Lord. Here's a funny. You want to talk about a brain fart? After my buddy diagnoses it, he calls his place up and they go, "Yeah, we don't even have them in stock. They're on back order.
Oh, wow.
We can't guarantee when." I mean, it's a $38 part.
Yeah.
And so we just try the other place down the block from them. So I call them up and they go, "Yeah, we can have it for you tomorrow." I said, "Okay, that's good. The car still drives."
Yeah.
Right.
So the guy goes through and he goes, "Does it have parking assist?" And I go, "Yeah. It's got that beeping thing." And
Yeah.
so they order the sensor. We get it. It's a different color. Install it, and all the lights are still on. And my buddy says, "Maybe you have to drive it." He goes, I really don't know.
Yeah, you got to clear it. It's got to. You either have to clear it
No, it
manually or
clears it.
drive cycle.
It didn't even have to roll.
Right. Right.
Oh, good.
Oh, the wrong sensor. Okay.
And
Oh,
I said, "Screw this." I called the Ford dealer up, which is a half-hour ride, and said, "Here's the VIN number." And the guy goes, "Yep, got one right here for you. I'll hold it at the counter."
Mm-hmm.
So I go out and I pick it up. I'm driving back, and my buddy calls me. He goes, "I just looked it up, the parking assist that they were talking about." And he goes, "It's a 2016. He goes, "I didn't even know it was available on that. It's where you push the button and it parks itself."
Oh, I didn't know they did that in 16 either.
yeah. That's
And I said to him, "I thought the parking assist was the distance sensors. You're going to, drive into something or back into something
Right.
while you're
Right.
parking."
Right.
And I made the ultimate screw up and assumed that.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you this, just as a piece of information, if you ever need to diagnose a wheel speed sensor, the way to do it is it'll emit, it's a frequency. You need to have a frequency counter, a frequency meter or a scope that can look at frequency. That's the signal it outputs. It's not, it's a very, very small, like a millivolt range, but you look at frequency.
Well, obviously, for the 2016 Escape, there's two different ones.
Yeah,
If you got parking assist,
Right.
and
right.
they're reporting the same function. How fast is the wheel spin?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I have two.
Yeah.
Somebody, I'll leave that to somebody at an electrical engineering
That's
level.
the Ford engineers. Yeah, they have to answer that question.
Exactly.
Right. The funniest thing was when the lights didn't turn off, you plugged the scanner back in, and it said mismatched sensor right rear wheel.
Yes, that's how smart the scanners are.
Wow.
That impressed the hell out of him and me.
Yes, that's how.
That's
good,
awesome.
That's how good the scanners are.
Sort of coming up, "Hey, stupid, you put the wrong part
Well,
in."
I was going to say, Joe looks at a car and he says that he goes, "Oh yeah," he'll like put his fingers on his temples and say, "It's got the wrong sensor in it." Like he's got that level of scan technology, which
Yeah.
blows me away. So yeah, all good stuff. All right.
Anyhow, have a rest of good Father's Day. It's a great topless day, as we discussed earlier, but
Yep.
enjoy it and happy barbecuing for
Yeah.
those.
You got it, John. Thank you very much. Same to you, brother. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, John. Have a great Father's Day.
All right. So long.
Bye-bye.
Oh, that was good. That's
Yeah, no, it's true. My 2014 Explorer, which it does not have options in it, it's a police special,
Yeah.
also has the backup audio, the sound, the beeping
Yes.
noise. It doesn't have the camera. The
Yeah.
wife's car has the camera,
My FJ has it, and that's an 08.
and yeah,
That has
wow,
that early back. I think they knew the thing had terrible side vision. It was big
oh
blind spots,
gosh.
so they put it in because of that.
Yeah, I take a look at the aesthetics, the way the body is shaped on those FJs, and yeah, it's a big bulky body with these little tiny mail slot windows.
Right.
I don't know how you drive it.
You get used to it, and even on the highway, you know, the car when I got it had blind spot mirrors, big round. Well, I have big truck mirrors on the car,
Sure.
and big like 3-inch blind spot mirrors, but he had them like at the top of the mirrors.
Mhm.
I was like, that's the wrong place. So I on the right side, I said, I think I need it on the right side more than the left. I took it off and I moved it down to the bottom of the mirror.
Okay.
And that helped a lot because it put it where I needed it. The left one I took off altogether. I don't need it on the left side. But I do double and triple check because somebody can slip in. And like I said, even looking over your shoulder, you don't have the visibility over your shoulder that you
Right.
have with other vehicles. So yeah, you have to be diligent and careful.
No, I totally understand. When I got the Charger, the police Charger, was from Texas, and it had severely tinted windows. And I was contemplating taking the window tint off, and I went, let me see how it works with the tint on. Let me see. It was like driving in a perpetual tunnel.
Right.
But you get used to it after a while, and after a while, it just doesn't affect you at all. You can see everything; everything is fine. And yes, it also did have blind spot mirrors. They were probably the size of a silver dollar
Uh-huh.
point, and they were in the corners of the mirrors as
Yeah,
well.
it's
And
not
yeah,
public to be as careful. They just if you're not getting out of their way, you're in trouble.
I,
So I'll tell you
that
what.
is,
Wow.
yeah. Go ahead.
Tell you
No,
what was that?
no, I was just going to say real fast. When you drive a police car, there's always someone there. There's always someone on your flanks. It's never clear. You always assume that someone's there because someone always is. Go right ahead.
So the other way to stay out of trouble is to do our bottom of the hour bit. So let's do that now. And I was asked to say if you are a proud member of the Nassau Community College alumni, like John and like me, you can find out more information about the Nassau Community College Alumni Association, and you can do that by visiting ncc.edu/alumni. And like
That's
John said,
That's
topless day
fantastic.
today.
Yes.
Your WHPC weather forecast powered by Pantano's Gourmet with locations in Uniondale. It is a beautiful day. Mix of sun and clouds, high of 77. I think it's going to top that a little bit. Tonight, few clouds, low in the 60s. It is definitely, tomorrow's going to be in the 80s. Later in the week, we're going to be in for some heavy humidity, which is going to be nasty. Our friend Gerard, who's riding his motorcycle now through the Southern Loop, he's down in Florida, I hear, and suffering like crazy in the humidity. He goes, how do people live here? It's so bad down there right now. But John is right. Today is a topless day. I got the Fiat today. Top is down. I'm loving it. It's beautiful.
Yes. Wear something that can easily fly off. Yes.
Absolutely. Well, I put the hat on real tight and I turn it around so the bill is in the back. So do we have an honor group of the hour to share today, Chris?
Of course, on this fine Father's Day this Sunday, the Motormouth Radio Honor Group of the Hour, the group that we like to tip our hats to. This week, if your introduction to automotive repair of any kind was by holding the flashlight for your father, vividly remember that bonding moment with your old man fixing the family car where all he did was point the flashlight while it was still in your hands. Remember him asking you, can you see what I'm doing? And of course you respond, yes. And he goes, good, because I can't see a stinking thing. Aim the light better.
Right.
Did the rest of the conversation go something like this? Hold the flashlight steady. No, here. No, not there. Here. Oh, forget it. I'll hold it myself. No, never mind. Come back here. Why are you crying? So if all of you learned by working on the car with your dad was how to hold a flashlight and how to get yelled at, then you were part of the Motor Mouth Radio on the Group of the Hour. Right, exactly. I just hope that the trauma wasn't too great and you both can laugh about it now.
Exactly. So we'll be back in a minute after we play these spots, and you can call at 516-572-7440, or if you want to see this show later on, it will go up on YouTube. And now I'll tell you how to find it the right way. Because apparently we've been telling people the wrong way.
We've been misinforming people for years, just like this show.
We've been sending people to see this great husband and wife couple called the Motor Mouths who do a YouTube channel that's bigger than ours. And
now we know why.
You can't look up Motor Mouth video. You have to, when you go to YouTube, look up real_Motor Mouth video, which is just like our Instagram handle, which is real_Motor Mouth radio.
Yes.
So radio, video, different thing. Do that
with a suitcase.
Do that on YouTube and help us catch up. So watch a video, even if you don't like it, just hit a like and subscribe. We don't send you any other garbage. And
right.
Let's get on.
Share it, like it, share it.
You don't even have to share. Comment. You want to
comment on it.
I read the comments and I will reply, unless you're a total idiot, and then I'll just tell you to go screw off because I'm too old to take your bull crap. So I'm just not going to do that anymore. That's the damn truth.
And you could also text us at 203-670-4127. The text phone is open right here at the Nutmeg Central Studios.
So if you don't want to do that, you can hush. So we'll be back with more Motor Mouth Radio in a minute on 90.3 WHBC. Let's go.
9 o'clock in the City of Angels. Your brother here to testify because the weekend's through and Monday's starting, baby. We're going to walk on.
Back with answers to your car questions. Give us a call at 516-572-7440. Oh, I should have said the Motor Mouth thing.
This show on 90.3 WHPC is brought to you by CarStar Celebrity Chase Collision, with 2 locations in Limerick and Oceanside, who remind you that New York state law says you always have the right to choose which shop will fix your car. CarStar Celebrity Chase Collision offers a full range of services, 24-hour towing between Montauk and Manhattan, shuttle service, and they can help you with a rental car arrangement if needed. All repairs include the CarStar Lifetime Nationwide Warranty, ensuring that the experts at Celebrity Chase Collision are always on your side.
Y sí, hablamos español.
More information is available at 516-593-0920 or online at celebritychasecollision.com.
You're listening to the Motor Mouth.
Wait a minute.
Attention in the pits on other parts of your body.
Shalom.
Hey, Chris. Hey, Ray.
Not rap too tight, but boy, I love him.
Motor Mouth.
You don't ask me to come on the show. You don't ask me to pose naked.
I just hate cars. I hate motorcycles, and I hate people who drive, use them, or talk about them.
Chris and Ray have been replaced today.
Hi, guys. Always good to talk with you, too. Motor Mouth.
You get the kooks that listen to this radio show.
It's always fun coming here.
I didn't want to break the flow of the show. You know, you guys are on PMN now, man. You know, you guys are the voice of Long Island. Motor Mouth.
It's always a pleasure, and I enjoy the show.
Hi, I wanted to know if you could fix my car.
Our trained staff of 2 will help.
What do you know about ceiling fans? Mine makes a lot of noise.
You're interrupting me. What is going on here?
Quite frankly, there are better things to do with your time.
Those guys are nuts.
It's nice to talk to somebody that obviously really enjoys what they do.
Yeah, I want to know what the is wrong with my car.
I've just had a automotive week. It's just been crazy.
When I called, the first thing I heard you say was, I'm going to answer this question intelligently, and I said, whoops, I got the wrong number.
Motor Mouth.
Well, there was a time in your life when you spent a lot more time under your car.
Thank you, both of you. I appreciate it so much. It was a great opportunity, and it was really a pleasure to talk with you guys.
No problem. Now you have time to change your email address and phone numbers.
First thing I'm going to do, if the company hadn't already done it.
There are answers, sometimes correct ones, and we may have them.
Motor Mouth Radio, 90.3 FM, WHPC.
Motor Mouth.
Hey, you, get over here. Every Sunday, 12 to 1, you are going to tune in to hear the Motor Mouths, my friends Ray Guarino and Chris Switzer. 90.3 FM, WHPC. You might learn something.
Yeah, you learned something. The great old days of radio when music sounded like this. You know, that great AM muffled sound. We're back. Motormouth Radio. Ray Guarino, Chris Switzer, 516-572-7440. Give us a call and talk about your cars and stuff. And I have an issue, Chris, that I'm going to dive into. I may need another visit to see our good friend Andy, George Barris's guy. Yeah, I got back into the, you know, I do things like this. I don't know why. I'll get involved in part of a project and do it a certain way, knowing there's other ways, and then later on down, I'll decide to change. And this is what I've done. You know, I put the vintage AC system in my Pontiac. Still haven't changed it because I need to crimp the one line. I need a beadlock crimper. But I had the one of the things I had bought were these. These are the eyeballs, they call them.
Right. Yes. They go in the dashboard. They go on either side by the doors. The edges of the dashboard.
They go on the far ends of the dash, and I couldn't bring myself to drilling the dash.
You got to cut the dash, okay?
Yeah. And the problem is I was a little scared. I mean, it has to be right because these things, if you look at their profile, they fall like that. You look at their. Let me take this out. You look at the profile, and you can see it's angled.
It's angled like the dash. Yes.
And that's how it'll fit up in the dash. So I was kind of afraid, of making the hole the wrong way. And then...
are you thinking about replacing the bottom portion of your dash with one that already has the holes pre-made?
No. What I did was, I didn't drill...
I don't know. That would have been something I would have done.
No, I didn't drill a hole on either side of the dash, again, because I was afraid of slipping or making the holes off. And I didn't know where exactly they had to be. Not that anybody's going to come in and measure them, but I just wanted to get it right, and I couldn't find the diagram.
Not only that, but you have to make sure that they both are even to each other.
Well, you could take measurements and lay that.
Yeah, one can't be higher than the other or anything like that.
Yeah,
so
truthfully, there's not a lot of room. The right side, there's some variance to go up and down, but the left side, my key is over there, so you can't go as high on the left as you could on the right.
Right.
So what I did was I used the kit they supplied and put the black plastic vent under the dash. So I had the middle and the two lowers. I had an AC dash that goes up in where the heater controls are. I got the factory Pontiac AC part for up there for the upper register. And now I decided, you know what, I'm going to go back. I want to put the eyeballs in. I'm going to drill the holes. And I also want to use this. I had gotten this. It's a lower register. They call this the lap cooler. But the problem is, this piece goes up under the dash.
Yeah, it's funny. Just a side note. Do you remember the little tiny vents that were under the steering wheels on a lot of those G-body Monte Carlos? They called that a cooler too, but it wasn't a lap cooler.
I know, same thing. So the problem is, the top of this thing is just wide open. I'm thinking, okay, that mounts on the dash. How do you put a hose on there? Well, there's a plastic. So I started looking. I need the adapter for this.
Yes, it's a plastic that has the rectangle on one side and it flutes to a hole on the other side.
I need the adapter for this to go down to a 2.5-inch hose. I need the adapter for that. I remember when I was at Andy's shop and he was getting rid of a bunch of stuff. He gave me all those 67 GTO parts. In fact, that's what these were out of.
Right.
Again, if you want to see it, go to real_motormouth video and you can see what we're talking about. Go to the to the 39-minute mark in that video. And Andy had a cardboard box about 18 inches tall, filled with, because he did a lot of limo work, AC hoses, adapters, connectors, all sorts of stuff. And I picked it up. I'm like, wow, this is cool. Like when you need something, he goes, $20 for the box. And I didn't take it. And I said, I have everything I need. I mean, that hose goes for a couple bucks a foot, truthfully.
Yeah.
And now I'm thinking, man, maybe there was something in there I could use. I was telling Mike yesterday, I said, it's a win or lose situation. I said, if I found the one adapter in there that I could, or the two adapters I could use for these eyeballs.
Worth it.
except I looked them up online already through Summit, and they're like maybe eight, not even eight. No, they were like $4 a piece. So that would cost me $8, and then I spent 20, so I'd be behind.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We're gonna see, but I'm back on this project again to amass the stuff.
Oh boy,
to make that right, and we'll see what happens.
So I have to thank you for helping me fix a problem on the tracker.
Okay.
This week I was hell-bent on getting the exhaust system fixed. You were like, "Oh, just go get a new exhaust system on a car that's not worth it."
What
you went, "Oh, go get a new exhaust system for the car."
I found out I've been talking like that lately. I don't know why.
So what I did was the bolts that secure the exhaust pipe to the catalytic converter, the bolts themselves had rotted and snapped.
Yeah.
So while I was on the road, and of course now the pipe was loose, obviously emitting those noxious gases and that awful noise. So not only does the car look like who did it and ran, now it sounds like who did it and ran. So I'm thinking I got to get that fixed. So what I was able to do was drill through the bolt, and we can continue on with this if
Yes, we're going to listen to that while we take a call. Let's go to the phones and say hi. You're on with the Motor Mouths.
Hey guys, it's Tom from Massapequa.
Tom, how are you?
Thomas.
Good. Hey, I miss you guys. Sorry I haven't called in a while, but I've seen you on YouTube. You guys look pretty good on video. I mean, it's pretty impressive, actually.
All right, let me ask you, how did you find us on YouTube?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
It could have been, listen, well, let me ask you a question. Do you see any of the social media stuff that we put out, like the posts on either Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook?
Yes, and
Okay.
I get your Instagram feed.
So have you followed? Well, the question is, have you ever followed the link that I put in that for the video? Because that's how you would have found it.
That's how I got there.
That's how you found it. See, that's the problem we had. Only people that follow us on social media have seen the correct link. So, yeah. And Tom, before you get off the phone, I want to just do a quick piece of business. Remember about a month ago, you had put me in touch with a fellow who was a wholesaler for.
Anthony? Yeah.
I got to talk to him, and I lost his number. So I need you to get that back for me. We got to set something up.
Okay, I'll text it to you. He's a good dude.
Yes.
And that'll be great.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, all right. Now, so happy Father's Day. God bless you guys, and hope you have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Same to you, Tom.
You as well.
Thank you. I've been watching this on TikTok. There's a guy, Royalty Auto Service or Royal Auto Service. Have you seen this?
No, I have not.
No.
Oh, my God. His guy's name is Sherwood. He's got this amazing shop and all these tools. The guy's legit. I mean, to me, he looks unbelievable legit. Like, you guys would love him, I think.
Right.
He's got, and I think they're out of Florida or Georgia. But the amazing thing, he's honest, straightforward. The tools. All right, here's the thing. He's got so many. Like Joe D with all the gauges and shit.
And stuff,
all the diagnostics.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. This audience, your audience should find Royal Auto Service or Royalty on TikTok. They'd be very pleased to watch this guy's videos.
Okay.
To give you an example, one of the videos showed there's an area of the shop that's 30 feet long by 50 feet wide with nothing in it except targets. Do you know what it's for?
No.
You need an area 30 by 40 at a minimum to calibrate all the sensors on most of the cars.
Oh, you're talking about the new ADAS? Are you talking about the new ADAS stuff for the front and rear, for the cameras and whatnot?
I guess it's every sensor like that, yes. And they got a room dedicated to this. He's building it out. It exists already. but all the sensors aren't on the wall. And there's different sensors. Like Mercedes, you got to set up certain targets. Chevy or GM, you got to set up other targets. And the guy has it just for that.
I've seen it where they bring a screen into the front of the car, and it calibrates like that. It's like kind of a movable screen,
right?
But I haven't seen where it was fixed.
All right. Well, when I say fixed, I mean you may be able to move the targets. I'm not saying they're all 100% permanent, but some of the targets were up on stands, like they go on easels or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what he was saying was, and this sounds legit to me, and it may not be on all cars, maybe just the new technology. He said if you go to an auto body shop and they're not he's trying to raise the level of the industry, so he doesn't call anybody out, okay?
Okay.
But he says, like, if you go to an auto body shop, they may calibrate it a certain way, but if they don't do it right to Hoyle, do you know what I mean when I say according to Hoyle?
Yes, I know what you mean, yeah.
Right? It may not be 100%, and it could be a safety issue later on.
The manufacturers the manufacturers provide those specs.
Right.
So if a body shop is doing the right thing and they have the right information, which any modern body shop would have, they would have those specs. But they have to make sure their equipment is in specification and alignment too, just like an alignment machine for your wheels. So, yeah, he's right.
Exactly, with calibrations. He said it's got to be calibrated, right? The software has to be updated. But here's the thing. How many guys, I mean, and not that everyone should have this, how many guys have a 30 by 40 foot spot that's raw, bare raw? You can't have anything else in it.
That's true. A lot of shops are too small. Yeah.
Especially in this area.
And you guys may know about this. Besides all the software and the diagnostic tools, one of the things I found really interesting, and again, I don't know anything like you guys do, but a thing that blows smoke into, and you see the smoke come out of the different places.
That's called a
smoke machine.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this is really seriously interesting stuff. I think you guys would get off on it, and if you could ever connect with them, he's trying to, like his son does the videos, okay? I'm not sure what the benefit of the TikTok shop is if he's a local guy. He's got like 5 mechanics that work for him, and like they interview the mechanics, they talk about the jobs. They even talked about one of his techs put the wrong fluid in a trainee, right, or a differential, and it ruined the Mercedes differential. And he said, hey, it's my fault. We used the wrong fluid. I'm going to fix it.
Right. You know what, Tom?
TikTok.
Yeah, when you send me the information, the other information, send me a link to this guy's videos, and I'll check it out. The stuff, it's interesting for us because the stuff that you're talking about and you're agog with is stuff that we've known about for a long time. So it's always interesting when somebody else learns about it and they say, hey, have you heard about this new thing? It's been out a while, but it is really good technology. Brian is saying that in the old days when you needed a smoke machine, there was always a guy there who smoked. So you would take a cigarette or a cigar, right, and you would induce it into the path. And that's all a smoke machine does. It's a glycerin-based fluid.
Right.
It heats up. It makes smoke. You inject it into a vacuum port where it sucks it in, and then you look for where it comes out. And wherever it comes out is where
I've actually built one with a jar and mineral oil. And
actually show you on YouTube. You can do make a $20 smoke machine.
I've done it. It's still sitting in the garage. Yeah, and it worked great.
Yes.
It worked great.
One other thing I'll share with you guys, you may appreciate this. He said that he was showing some of his equipment, and the latest alignment rack they got is a Hunter alignment rack or whatever.
That's a top shelf machine. Yeah, the Hunter, yes.
Yeah, and he said, hey, a year or two ago, whenever it was, we had another brand. It was horrendous. It began with, I won't say the name, and the son says, Dad, you got to say the name, right? He says, well, it began with a B. That's all I'll say, right?
Oh, okay.
He said the rack was cheaper. It took 3 minutes to go up, 3 minutes to go down, and it didn't do this, it didn't do that. I had to get rid of it. I paid 18 grand for it. I couldn't even sell it used. I had to throw it away. And this rack, I think the rack cost between 25 and 35 for the rack, plus the software was another 20 to 30 or something. Or more, like it might have been 70 to 90 total.
I can tell you this. I know I was at Tire Town in Rockville Center where I get my alignments and tires done. And Joe had bought a new machine last year, and it was about the cost. And it's expensive, but when that's a key part of your business, you need to have it.
Right.
Or people going to the guy down the road.
Yeah, and he was
You need to
saying
invest.
if you get a $70 alignment, it may not be a good alignment. He's saying, I'm not saying, he's saying the stuff costs money,
It does.
And, right, and anyway, you're going to love this guy. I'll send you the link.
Yeah, please
I think
do.
you should share it with the audience because the guy seems 100% legit.
Right.
And when you see his Snap-on collection, oh, my God.
Yeah, well, he's in the business, so, right. Yeah.
It's not just Snap-on. And one thing I'll add, and then I'll jump off. I just saw, I don't know how old it was, but I just saw a clip, and it said that he waited a year for the top section of his Snap-on box. He just ordered it. It's the biggest section. It's like 3 feet by 6 feet long. He waited for a year to get it from Snap-on.
Yeah.
It took a year to get, and he just added to it. And it's like over his head. He's got to use a stool to get up there.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of guys who go for that, and the Matco stuff too. It's beautiful, and they put the side lockers on it. Our friend Barry, right over here in East Meadow, has a wall of toolbox. It's impressive, but it should come with a stepladder because you can't see the top of it. You can't get up there.
That's hysterical.
Exactly. And then he was going through some of the drawers like he did. They did and interesting stuff. And he said some stuff I got 20, 30 years. He got a gift from his Matco guy. When the Matco guy retired, he said, I've never used it. It's just my gift from him. And just cool shit. All right, guys, have a wonderful day.
Yeah. Actually,
Bye-bye.
All right, Tom.
Thanks, Tom.
That was Tom.
Tom was a little over the top today.
Yeah, I think Kim's going to have a talk with him.
So anyway, like I was saying, I wanted to repair the exhaust system on the tracker. And what I did was I was able to drill through the rusted bolt and sawed off bolt through the nut and get a hole there so I could slip 2 bolts through and nut bolt it together like it was.
You're being interrupted. You know who's calling after Tom? Back to the phones and say hi. You're on the Motor Mouths.
He's jumping off. I'm jumping on.
Yes, Tom. Tom, what's happening? How are you today?
Happy Father's Day, Chris and Ray.
Thank you. Happy
What's
Father's
up,
Day.
Robert?
Now, was that not priceless?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, if you want to call it that.
It's nice because I put a 12-pack in the garage refrigerator last night. So I want to thank Tom.
Preloading, yeah, very good, very good.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Hey, I just wanted to say Happy Father's Day to you guys. I really enjoyed that program last week with the Valvoline guy, with the oil guy who was explaining the new formulas for Valvoline.
That was that was 2 weeks ago with Lake Speed Jr. And I have to say that video is up on Motormouth Video on YouTube. You have to go to real_Motormouth Video, and you can see that video. If you want to, like, some people want to go back. I've referred a couple guys to it already because they missed a point or two. And I said, yeah, go back and just, re-scrub it. Look at it again.
I found it really interesting because, we've listened to you over the years with your suggestions and the information that you've gathered on oil changes, brands, etc.
Right.
And this was probably one of the most informative because I guess they're suggesting that this Valvoline oil actually does a superior job in cleaning and protecting the engine. So we'll see where it takes us. But I want to say Happy Father's Day. Are we not blessed being dads?
You betcha, Bob. We certainly are, and we definitely.
That's like being a dad.
You know what? It's pretty cool, right?
All the things that happen in our lives, all the crap that people have, and you look back at it, you say, I'm a husband and I'm a dad.
Mm-hmm. Very, very true. And it's one of those days where we can celebrate us, because there's not many of those days that you can celebrate dads. But that's I'm thankful and I'm glad to hear that you are, that we can celebrate it the way we love. And I hope you're going to have a good one. I hope you're going to have a good day.
Guys, we're still vertical. Have a great
Yes, we're still vertical, my brother. You be safe.
Bye-bye, guys.
Bye-bye. Take care. Bob from Rockville Center, right here on Motormouth Radio. Ray Guarino, Chris Switzer.
When you watch the video, you can see I was talking to Kim about some other stuff about radio etiquette and how people need to be careful when they call a radio show. Not Bob, not talking about Bob.
No.
Talking about Tom. Where we had
Tom, watch your language.
I had to dump him because he let something fly he shouldn't have. And we were saying, this is the thing, like with when I do Thursday night playing traffic or on the internet, people, you can say whatever you want on the internet.
Right.
And even Kim had said people that when they come in to record a show, they figure, it's a podcast. You can say whatever you want. No, it's going on. It's going to be broadcast.
Yes, exactly. It's so funny because even if I was doing your Thursday night show, I would still keep it within the boundaries of good taste.
Yes, you know what? If you err on the side of safety, you'll be safe.
Always safe.
I think what it is, I told Kim on what it is, I think Tom and most of our callers are so comfortable with us, and in the format, they're comfortable with talking with us. It's almost like you're in the parking lot and they feel at home. Well, you can be at home, but you have to be on your best behavior. Make believe you're in grandma's home.
Very true. But anyway, just real fast before we wrap this up, I have to thank you for the repair because I was able to drill the holes and I couldn't find a decent bolt.
Okay.
So I have a box that says bolts that Ray gave me.
Oh God.
Do you remember when you gave me that box of bolts?
I do not. But if you send me a picture of the box and a picture of the repair,
contents,
I'll post it on this week's update for the show.
Okay. In the box was a bag of metric head bolts.
Okay.
That were the correct size. And I had to laugh because I have a cute little drawer in the drawer receptacle that you had provided for me, and one of those cute little drawers had metric nuts in them. So I was able to scuff two of those and slap it all together in a span of about, 15, 20 minutes after I drilled the hole. Done. Project completed. So yes, very pleased.
Well, after the last 15 to 20 minutes now, we're done.
We're done.
Yeah, we're going to be out of here. Kim, stay tuned for Thunder Road Best of Spring Scene. I know you do because everybody likes the show better than us.
And stay tuned for that obscure gardening show played at this time next week.
Right. We'll be back next week with more Motormouth Radio. Chris, what do I say to the people waiting for me outside from the FCC?
Keep it clean when you're at Grandma's house and don't follow us home.
You got it. We'll be back next week. More Motormouth Radio. Ray Guarino, Chris Switzer, 90.3 WHPC. See ya.
See you. Bye.